Magandang araw mga kapitek. Medyo matagal tayong di nakapag-record. Siguro more than a week before ulit tayo nakagawa ng ating panibagong session para po sa inyong preparation for the NCASH exam this coming 2024. Konting updates para po sa inyong lahat na nag-aabang ng ating mga panibagong guidelines na ipapalabas po ng ating central office, no? So wala pa pong official as of now since wala pa pong nire-release ang ating BHROD, but all sources would point out na talagang merong exam itong darating na 2024, no? So yun po ang sigurado. Kung sino ang makakapag-take at kung ano yung mga specific na mga guidelines ay wala pa pong detalye, no, na ibinigay ang ating PHROD. Kaya para sa inyo na nagpi-prepare, sa tingin ko, it's very important that we broaden, we widen our horizon and look for as many resources as possible habang kayo po ay nagpre-prepara para sa upcoming na NCASH examination for 2024. Okay? Mga kapitek, nasa session number 18 na po tayo. Medyo marami na pong mga videos yan, kaya kung ngayon ka lang nakakita ng aming video, ay pwede mo pong explore ang aming channel and you look at all the different videos and sessions that we already have provided. Okay? So, ngayong video mga kapitek ay pag-usapan natin ang Property Manual Handbook, Asset Management, that is very significant, no, under domain number 2, Managing School Resources and Operation. So, maraming mga areas ang pag-usapan natin dito, lalong-lalo na po doon sa acquisition, doon sa warehousing, stockpiling, and then for the disposal ng iba't ibang mga resources, mga equipment, mga furniture, at iba't iba pa na under the custody ng isang school. Alright? So let's start. Habang ano po tayo, bago natin i-dig deeper yung ating discussion, ay tignan po muna natin ang ilan sa mga importanteng mga acronyms that you will be encountering kapag pinag-usapan po natin ang property management or asset management. Let's start off with question number 1. What is the correct meaning of PPMP under asset management? Project Procurement Management Plan, Project Procurement Management Plan, Project Procurement Management Program, or Project Plan for Managing Procurement. PPMP, mga kapitek, ang ibig sabihin po niyan ay it's letter A, Project Procurement Management Plan, the PPMP. Pag-usapan natin ito along the way dahil marami pong mga details yan, no? That can be linked in the process as we move along the different questions and the slides that will be provided to you a little later. Right? Next po, ang ating question number 2. What is the correct meaning of APR? Kanina ay PPMP, ano naman ay APR. Ang ibig sabihin ng APR? A, agency procurement request, B, annual procurement report, C, agency procurement request, or D, annual planning request. Ang APR po mga kapitek, ang ibig sabihin po nito ay letter A, agency procurement request. Ito specifically yung ginagamit natin kapag tayo po ay magpo-procure gamit ang through the portal ng ating PSDBM. So gagawa po tayo ng ating PR at ito ay tinatawag po na agency procurement request. Question number 3. What is the correct meaning of ICS under asset management? A, inventory custodian slip, B, inventory collective slip, C, inventory custodian status, or D, inventory and collection status. Ang ICS po mga kapitek ay ang ibig sabihin po nito ay letter A, inventory custodian slip. Okay, kung ano po ito, ito yung ating ibinibigay na document na pinipirmahan po ng mga nagre-receive ng mga supplies, no, or mga semi-expendable na mga properties na ibinibigay po sa ating mga kasamahan in the school. Ang tawag po natin dito ay ICS or the Inventory Custodian Slip. Okay? Question number 4. What is the correct meaning of RSMI under asset management? Should be the fourth acronym. RSMI, ang ibig sabihin po ba ay A, Report of Supplies and Materials Used, B, Report of Stocks and Materials Used, C, Report of Supplies and Management Inventory, or D, Report of Stocks and Management Inventory. Ang RSMI, ang ibig sabihin po nito mga kapitik ay letter A pa rin, the report of supplies and materials issue. Okay? Kung ikaw ay isang property custodian ng inyong school, ito yung mga bagay na kailangan alam mo, ito yung mga acronyms na kailangan ginagamit mo at alam mo kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng mga yan in terms of how it is related, no, in the entire procedure of property and asset management. Question number 5. What is the correct meaning of PPE under asset management? PPE, A, property, plant, and equipment. B, property planning and equipment. C, property procurement and equipment. Or D, procurement of property and equipment. Ang PPE po, mga kapitek, ang ibig sabihin po niyan ay letter A, property, plant, and equipment. No? Ito ay inventory, ito ay listahan, no, ng iba't ibang mga properties, mga plant and other equipment na meron po sa ating mga institutions. In the case of DepEd, ito po yung sa konteksto ng school head ay kung ano po ang meron sa ating paaralan. Okay? PPE po ang tawag natin dyan at kailangan nire-reconcile paragi natin ito in terms of yung actual report, no, ng ating accounting department. Ito dapat ay nagtutugma na kung ano yung nakalagay, nakadeclare sa ating PPE ay yun din ang walang discrepancy sa report naman ng ating accounting documents. Alright? So that's for question number 5. Question number 6. What is the correct meaning of ARE under asset management? A, acknowledgement receipt of equipment. B, accounting and recording of equipment. C, accounting and retrieval of equipment. Or D, acknowledgement of retrieved equipment. Correct answer, letter A, acknowledgement receipt of equipment. Okay? Acknowledgement receipt of equipment, makikita natin ito later, na ito ay importanteng dokumento na patungkol sa pagtanggap ng mga equipment na na ikatiwala, no, sa isang office or sa isang particular unit sa paaralan or sa isang government office. Acknowledgement receipt of equipment. Question number 7. What about IIRUP? Anong ibig sabihin nito under asset management? IIRUP, A, inventory and inspection report of unserviceable property. B, inventory, inspection and retrieval of unserviceable property. C, inspection, inventory and retrieval of used properties. Or D, inventory and inspection of used properties. Ang IIRUP, mga kapitek, ang ibig sabihin po niyan ay A, inventory and inspection report of unserviceable property. Ginagamit po natin ito, ginagamit ng ating property custodian ito upang ito isang dokumento, no, na ginagamit upang umandar, no, yung isang proseso ng disposal na akibat nito yung kabuuan ng asset management. Tandaan natin ha mga kapitek na hindi lang po yung acquisition ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. Acquisition, storage, distribution, kasama na din dito. And eventually, ito yung kasama yung disposal ng mga properties na ito. Kung kailan po pwede nang i-dispose kung unserviceable na yung isang property na nabili for how many years. Alright? So, IIRUP, ang tawag po natin doon sa dokumento na ay ginagamit upang gumulong ang isang disposal mechanism. Question number 8. What is the correct meaning of RPCI under asset management? A. Report on the physical condition of inventories. B. Report on the physical count of inventories. C. Retrieval of physical condition of inventories. Or D. Report on the procured condition of inventories. Question number 8, ang tamang sagot po ay letter B. Report on the physical count of inventories. Okay? Yearly naman po natin ginagawa yan. Kaya alam po natin dapat kung anong ibig sabihin ng RPCI. Question number 9. What about WMR? What is the correct meaning of WMR under asset management? A. Waste materials report. B. Waste management report. C. Waste management record. Or D. Waste materials record. Ang tamang sagot po dito ay letter A. Waste materials report. Okay, kung ano ito? Ito ay report na ginagawa kapag meron pong nangyaring demolition ng isang building or natapos na yung tinatawag natin na inventory ng mga unserviceable properties, then eventually gagawa ng WMR yan, no? The waste materials report, upang sa ganon ay ma-determine kung ilan yung physical count noong mga materials that are for disposal. Okay? Question 10. The following are the functions of the secondary school's property and supply section. Example A. Consolidates PPMP into APP. B. Prepares agency procurement request or the APR for all items to be procured under the DBMPS, including procurement of common use items that are available at DBMPS. C. Requests and conducts pre-inspection of supplies and materials. Or letter D. Prepares back resolution for the procurement of common use supplies. Alin po dyan ang hindi trabaho ng secondary schools property and supply section? It's letter D po mga kapitek, no? Prepares back resolution for the procurement of common use supplies. Alright? Kasama na po lahat yan, yung mga ating nabanggit dito, yung A, B, and C are all functions of the school's property and supply section. Bakit in-identify natin itong secondary? Because kapag ang secondary school po mga kapitek ay implementing unit or yung IU na tinatawag, or meron siyang sariling libro, then ito po ay meron siyang mga personnel na humahawak ng ganitong mga functions, no? School's property and supply section. Right, good. There you go mga kapitek, 10 tanong na may kinalaman sa iba't ibang mga acronyms na ginagamit po natin for our asset management. And domain 2 ultimately, no, yung ating tackle for the first 10 questions. Ngayon po mga kapitek, ay tignan natin, i-dig deep natin ngayon yung mga provisions na makikita natin sa ating handbook. Medyo mahaba-haba ito, but we will just be looking at, we will just be trying to walk through, no? Yung iba pong mga provisions, mga salient provisions po ang i-highlight po natin mga kapitek. Okay? So bear with me, medyo mahaba, but this will be worth it. Okay, so ito po yung ating document na pinag-uusapan po, no? Yung ating property management handbook, no? Asset management. So maraming mga parts po ito na makikita po natin. So we will be first looking at the basic principles. Although hindi ko na po papahabain ito, but we're going to highlight only yung mga sa secondary schools or mga schools lang, no? We will be looking at procurement. That will be on chapter 2. Under procurement, nandyan ang PPMP, APP, ang PhilJeps, ang DBMPS, and the different modes of procurement, no? Further, After the procurement we will be looking at delivery, inspection, and acceptance. Siyempre may na-procure, kaya ibig sabihin ito i-deliver, ito ay i-inspect, before ito ay i-accept. Okay? May procurement, kaya ibig sabihin may darating na delivery. Hindi po pwedeng may procurement pero walang delivery ha. Patay tayo dyan mga kapitek, no? Importante na alam natin ng mga basic provisions na yan. Let's move on. Custodianship, that will be on chapter 3 after po tayo na mag-accept ng mga equipment, then it will be under the custodianship na ng ating mga supply officer. So ano mga gagawin nila dyan? Paano ang gagawing storage, warehousing, issuance and utilization, inventory taking, and eventually it will lead to the disposal. Okay? It will lead to the disposal. As again, mga kapitek, i-highlight lang po natin mga salient provisions na yan. I will not be digging deeper into the details, but I will just be mentioning the very significant provisions under the context of the school. All right. Even we will also be looking at the different modes of disposal. Kagaya dito sa my part na yan, meron pong i-highlight po tayo dyan later on. Okay. So let's go on into the basic principles for chapter number 1. So again, ang mga basic principles na babanggitin po natin dito ay of course yung ating RA 6713. Public office is a public trust under our Philippine Constitution, which is further specified under RA 6713, stating that all public officials and employees must at all times be accountable to the people, serve them with utmost honesty, responsibility, integrity, loyalty, and efficiently act with patriotism and lead modest lives. Ano pa po? Yung ating Presidential Decree number 1445, otherwise known as the State Auditing Code of the Philippines, which states that all resources of the government shall be managed, expended, or utilized in accordance with the laws, the rules, and the regulations, and safeguarded against loss or wastage through illegal or improper disposition with the view of ensuring economy, efficiency, and effectiveness in the operation of the government. Okay? So, very specific po yung ating mga legal basis na nakikita po dito. But of course, mga general lang po yan. I will not go over with this, pero importante po na may organizational structure tayo from the central to the region and to the division office. No? We have to take note that they also have major functions. No? Ang ating division at ang ating regional supply division. But of course, these are separate offices. Sa mga eskwelahan din ay meron din po ganyan. Okay? Meron po tayong mga functions dito, but I'm going to only mention yung ating functions ng ating mga secondary schools. So, just the same, meron mga function ito, mga functions po ito ng ating division property and supply. So, dito naman, ang i-highlight natin ay yung secondary schools property and supply section. Okay? Functions of the secondary schools property and supply section, una-una, consolidates PPMP into APP. Okay, the PPMP will have to be consolidated into one big document, which is the APP or the Annual Procurement Plan. Pangalawa, prepares APR or the Agency Procurement Request kapag bibili po sa DBM PS, no? DBM Procurement Service, no? Prepares PR for common use items not available at DBMPS. Kaya nga po mga kapitek, importante na kapag ikaw ay IU, you always seek for the clearance ba? Kung that would be the right term. Pero kung hindi available yung mga units or mga common use items na bibilhin mo kay DBMPS, kailangan may certification si DBM na wala siya talaga niyan. Okay? importante na kasama yon sa dokumento na ina-attach po natin. Okay. Request and conducts pre-inspection of supplies and materials. So, accepting delivered supplies, kasama na po dyan. Materials and equipment based on the PO, contract, job order, and IAR, or the inspection and acceptance report. Prepares and submits disbursement vouchers together with the necessary documents to the accounting unit for payment. Okay? Kaya nga importante mga kapitek, no, ng ating supply ay closely coordinating sa ating accounting unit so that whatever are the materials or whatever are the different units that are supposed to be purchased, kumpleto yung mga dokumento na yan bago ito i-forward sa accounting para sa paggawa ng mga disbursement vouchers. Okay? Distributes available supplies, materials, and equipment to the different requesting end users with corresponding ICS or the acknowledgement receipt on equipment. No? Sometimes, no, yung term na ginagamit dito property acknowledgement receipt. Okay? Or equipment, ito naman ang tawag dito ay acknowledgement receipt on equipment. Kapag may ang mga value ay matataas, more than 50,000 if I'm not mistaken, at ito ay may shelf life na hindi siya categorized under the semi-expendable na mga equipment. No? Otherwise, ang ibibigay po sa kanya ay ICS or the inventory custodian slip. Okay? Prepares the monthly report of supplies and materials issued to be submitted to the accounting every 5th day of the succeeding month. Prepares report on the deliveries of all centrally procured supplies. Prepares report on the physical count of inventories and the physical property, plant, and equipment. And identifies unserviceable equipment and waste materials for disposal, and prepares inventory and inspection report of unserviceable property and the waste materials report for submission to the disposal committee. And signs clearance of property and accountability for all officials and employees of the school. Okay, meron din naman tayo sa ating elementary schools. Ito po yung kanyang mga functions naman. Prepares PPMP for the school, accepts, distributes, and monitors all deliveries of supplies, materials, and equipment to the different departments of the school, and prepares necessary report required by the division office. Kasi nga, kapag elementary, ang ating mga equipment ay of course under pa yan ng ating mga division office dahil walang qualified personnel to handle, or should we say, no, prior nga na download or nagkaroon ng mga panibagong mga items na available yung ating mga administrative officer. But for those who are mababago na yan kasi meron na nga silang mga accountable persons, no, sa ating mga administrative officers ng mga elementary. But just the same, they are still related to yung kanilang mga procedure for disposal ay naka-anchor pa rin sa ating mga division offices. Okay? Prepares requests for inspection of deliveries, prepares and maintains property and stock cards, RPCI, PPA, and signs clearance of the property and accountability for all officials and employees of the school. Okay? So yan po yung mga basic principles natin. We go into procurement, chapter 2. Although we already have a separate video para sa procurement, i-go over lang po natin ito. Ang ating governing principle for procurement, mga kapitek, ay of course transparency in the procurement process. Nakalagay na po dyan. Competitiveness, kaya nga nire-require natin na magkaroon ng tinatawag na public bidding sa lahat ng eligible and lahat ng mga possible na procurement process. Streamlined procurement process, system of accountability, and public monitoring. All of this ay anchored under RA 9184, applying the procurement of the procurement guidelines of our government. No? Sinusundan po natin yan. Alright? Ito po yung ating PPNP and the APP, but I will not go over into this in digging deeper. Babanggitin lang po natin yung ating mga iba't ibang mga data, no, that can be included under the PPMP, no? Kasama po sa PPMP yung type of items to be procured, extent or the size of the contracts or the packages, procurement method to be adopted, time schedule for each procurement activity. Kaya nga ang PPMP ay divided into 12 months kung ano yung mga ano yung mga CSE na kailangan nakaprogram for a particular month, yun po yung ating binibili. Estimated budget for the general components of the contract. Okay? And then from the PPMP, magko-consolidate po magiging APP. Ayan. Meron na po tayong APP right after that. In the video, the very first video that we have had may kinalaman kay procurement, nabanggit ko na rin po doon, ano bang ibig sabihin ng PhilGEPS or the Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System. So, may specific discussion na po tayo na nabanggit dito. If you would like to look into that video, hanapin lang po yung ating session number na may kinalaman po doon, yung ating RA 9184. Okay? Procurement through the DBMPS, kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina mga kapitek, kailangan ay meron tayong APR. Kung wala namang mga supplies available, bibigyan naman ng notice yan ang requesting agency na hindi ito available. Para nang sa ganon, pwede nang maghanap sa ibang mga suppliers ang iba't ibang mga government agencies. Ang modes of procurement natin, competitive bidding, alternative modes of procurement. Kapag sinabi nating alternative modes of procurement, kapag hindi applicable ang competitive bidding, then we resort to alternative modes of or methods of procurement. Kagaya ng limited source bidding, kagaya ng direct contracting, kagaya ng repeat order, meron kang repeat order dito. And then we also have shopping. We also have negotiated procurement. Mga kapitek, hindi ko na to i-dig dahil madodoble lang po yan doon sa ating naunang video on RA 9184. Pero just the same, no? Kailangan po ninyong basahin yon, ang tignan para po malinaw sa inyo bakit nga ba or ano nga ba yung mga regulations na sinusunod po natin. Delivery, inspection, and acceptance. So na-procure na yung item. So we go into the number 1, yung delivery. So the delivery of the supplies and equipment must be made by the supplier. Now with the correct specifications, terms and conditions provided in the contract or in the purchase order. Tandaan natin mga kapitek na hindi tayo nagbibigay ng specific na brand name. Reference to brand name ay pinagbabawal po yan ng ating RA 9184. Kaya ang nakalagay lang po doon yung mga specifications lamang. Alright? Deliveries of the supply must be made by the supplier, manufacturer within the stipulated period. Pag sinabing 3 to 5, 3 days, 3 days lang upon the signing of the purchase order. No? In all cases, delivery shall be made within the office hours and during working days. And failure to deliver within the prescribed period, anong mangyayari? The supplier or the manufacturer or the contractor shall be liable for penalty and usually in the form of liquidated damages specified in the contract order or the purchase order. Liquidated damages in the amount of 1/10 or of 1% of the total amount of undelivered items. Yan po yung mga penalties po. The supplier or the contractor may in meritorious and justifiable cause request for extension of time to deliver. The request shall be made before the expiration of the contract period. But still, there should be a request, no? Hindi po pwede na kung hindi mo na i-deliver or natapos yung kontrata within the specified period, eh wala nang liability, no? Kailangan may managot dyan, but meron din namang opportunity for reconciliation. All supplies shall be adequately contained, packed, and crated or cased or bundled, no, in order to prevent damage, spoilage, and loss. Okay? They must be properly labeled and marked in accordance with the minimum labeling requirements of the RA 7394, known as the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Okay. All items delivered shall be received by the supply officer. Sino magre-receive po niyan? It should be the supply officer or designated property custodian. Hindi po si principal ha, ang magre-receive po nito. Okay? The delivery then followed by inspection. Pag inspection, it's the process of examining and testing the procured supplies. Okay? Including raw materials and components to determine their conformity with the contract requirements, including all applicable drawing specification and purchase description. The inspection of items shall be done by the inspectorate team, whose members shall be determined and designated by the PO. Sa school, kung sino yung inspectorate team, binubuo po yan ng mga personnel na pinili ng ating head of the procuring entity. Inspection shall be done in accordance with the standards and specifications and be conducted in the presence of the suppliers and end users representatives. The inspectorate team and the supply officer shall prepare and sign the inspection and acceptance report kapag nag-conform ang lahat ng na-deliver according to the standards and according to the guidelines. Okay, ang techniques for inspection, pwedeng inspection by item. Individual item is checked in conformity with the requirement stated in the specification. This method of inspection is applicable but not limited to deliveries of equipment and fixed assets. So aside from that, pwede rin yung sampling. Pag masyadong marami, nagkakaroon lang ng sampling, no? The process of obtaining information about a group of data having similar purpose or function, usually about 10% of the total or the lot delivery. Okay, so ano yung mga hinahanap natin in the conduct of inspection? PO and contract, okay, suppliers invoice delivery receipt, okay, and then the other required papers necessary for substantive inspection, such as catalog brochures or government standard specifications. Okay? Ayan. Hindi na natin i-go over yung ating textbook, but we go directly, armchairs, syempre, ini-inspect din po natin yan bago natin tanggapin ang kahit na anong delivery. Tandaan natin mga kapitek, ang pag-sign ng inspection and acceptance ay kailangan in front of the supplier yan at lahat ng mga competent personnel na na-assign mo bilang principal or si principal kapag nag-assign siya, dapat talagang very meticulous yung kasi mahirap na kapag na-accept na yan, napirmahan na yung yung acceptance, inspection and acceptance, ang bola nasa school na yan, no? Whatever happen or will happen to the supplies ay pananagutan na ng school yan. Okay, pananagutan na ng school. Kaya napakadelikado ang trabaho ng inspection and inspectorate team. Yan yung natin. Alright? Next, inspection during delivery or on-site. Yan. For the school buildings naman, inspection and acceptance kapag school buildings ang pinag-usapan natin, natapos na yung kanyang project. So the DepEd or the DPWH shall only construct complete school buildings except for multi-story constructions which can be programmed as partial construction if there is limited budget. Ocular inspection of the proposed recipients will be undertaken to assess present site, electrical and water facilities and conditions, and determine actual classroom needs as well as estimated cost or financial requirement thereof. All right? For DPWH implemented school buildings, the school head must secure a copy of the program of works. Bidding pa lang po or bago mag-start yung construction, ang program of works ay nasa iyo na dapat bilang school head. Wag mong kakalimutan yan. Kailangan meron kang kopya ng program of works. The school head must seek assistance from a technical person to check the materials that are being used during the construction if they are in accordance with the required specifications. The school head must call the attention of the DPWH kapag hindi nagko-conform sa standards. Kaya importante na alam ni principal kung para kang engineer din, principal ka na nga, engineer ka pa sa lagay na yan. Okay? Pero, kung hindi mo kabisado, pwede naman tayong mag-seek ng assistance from a technical person kung halimbawa ay nakikita natin na hindi na nagko-conform sa tamang proseso or procedure or mga materials na ginagamit. The school head shall sign the certificate of acceptance or the certificate of turnover only after the issuance of the 100% completion report by the DPWH project engineer. The same certificate shall also be signed by the division physical facilities coordinator. The school head shall issue a certificate of non-acceptance if the works are not in accordance with the specifications. Kung hindi nasunod yung nandun sa program of works, pwedeng hindi pumirma at mag-i-issue ng certificate of non-acceptance para sa building na yon. No? During the defect liability period, which is 1 year after the issuance of the certificate of 100% completion, the school head shall report to the DPWH the failures or defects in the construction of the school building that are attributed to the fault of the contractor. So ilang taon po mga kapitek, mga aspiring principals po natin, 1 taon. Yung ating, kumbaga, shall we say, the warranty period ng building na yun. Kung may mga nangyari na hindi kaaya-aya dun sa building dahil nagkaroon ng problema sa kanyang technicalities, then po pwedeng habulin yung ating mga contractors. The school head must have the copy of all the documents related to the construction of the school building. Right? For DepEd implemented school buildings, the school head must have a copy of the program of works to be done. The school head must inspect the construction, ganun din. The school head shall sign the certificate of completion or pwede rin siyang gumawa ng non-acceptance kung hindi sumunod yung contractor doon sa ating program of works. Alright? Ayan po ha. Mga aspiring principals po natin, tandaan po natin yan kasi kasama po yan sa mga trabaho po natin. Napakabigat ng ating accountability. Okay? Moving on into the other parts, of course, may mga disbursement voucher na yan kapag ready na po yung mga. Ito, pinapakita lang po natin yung mga dokumento na hinahanap kung gumamit po tayo ng alternative modes of procurement. So, bawat alternative mode of procurement, meron pong set na mga documents na kailangan po natin na i-prepare. Okay? Yeah. We go now into custodianship. A government official is mandated to exercise diligence in the custodianship of any government property. Kasama na po dito ang warehousing, or referring to the scientific and economical warehousing of materials for their best safekeeping and availability. Best safekeeping means protecting the materials against theft, fire, and deterioration but easily accessible when needed. Okay, so dapat kino-consider natin yung size and site ng stockroom na gagamitin, space layout for materials to be stored. Okay, so importanteng meron talagang supply office para maganda po yung storage po ng ating mga iba't ibang mga equipment or supplies that will be for distribution. Okay? Yeah. So, pag gagamitin, ang susunod will be issuance and utilization. Siyempre, hindi naman pwedeng lang yan. Pinrocure mo eh. So, may pangangailangan. Kung may pangangailangan, kailangan ito ay i-issue natin sa tamang mga tao, tamang mga opisina. Okay? Issuance and utilization of supplies are among the activities of property custodianship. The custodianship of supplies and equipment is transferred from the supply officer, okay, to the end user who is responsible and accountable for the utilization and or safekeeping. So, depende po yan kapag ICS or ARE po ang ibibigay na dokumento for signature. Okay? So, paano yung gagawin natin dito in the utilization of the supplies? So, kailangan muna meron kang SAI or the Supplies Availability Inquiry. It's a document prepared by the requisitioning officer as a basis for the preparation of RIS or the PR if the supplies or the equipment are available or not available, depende sa stock natin. Okay? Yeah. Requisition and issuance slip. This is used if the goods or supplies carried in stock based on the SAI received from the counting unit. The form contains the following. Ayan. So, may mga serial number po yan. Ah, kailangan po na meron kang requisition and issuance slip kasi hindi ka naman i-issue kung hindi ka naman nag-request ng yan. Okay? Ayan. And then, pagkatapos nun ay pwede nang mag-PR. Kung wala namang sa stock, ay ilalagay yan, magkagawa ng purchase request kung hindi available yung ni-request natin na supply or equipment for that matter. And then, kapag ito ay dumating or available na, ayan, mag-i-issue na ng ARE or the ICS, no? ARE is used for PPE accounts when issued to officials and employees other than the regular property officer. It shall be signed and dated by the designated property officer and the receipt from and portion, and the recipient shall acknowledge by signing in receipt by. Okay, this form is accomplished in duplicate copies by the accountable officer. The ARE shall be renewed every 3 years. No? Ayan. So, kailangan po kasi itong mga materials, mga equipment na yan, shall be filed alphabetically by the supply officer. It shall be renewed on the 3rd year after issuance. AREs that are not renewed after 3 years shall not be considered in making physical count of the equipment. Okay? So kapag more than 3 years or mga equipment that will last longer than the ones that will be under the ICS, then ang ibibigay po natin dito ay acknowledgement receipt for equipment or the property acknowledgement receipt. Inventory custodian slip is used for items with reserviceable life of more than 1 year but small enough to be considered as PPE. Ayan. Kapag ano po natin, nag-i-issue tayo ng mga documents na yan kapag ibinibigay na po natin yung equipment mo sa kanila. Okay? Ayan. Let's say for example mo, yung ating mga printers, ayan, kung di ako nagkakamali sa printer, kailangan ICS, hindi naman po property acknowledgement receipt yung binibigay natin. Kasi hindi naman siya ganun kalakihan yung value niya. But meron siyang serviceable life na more than 1 year. Okay? Ayan po mga kapitik. I hope that you are learning. I hope that you are also enjoying at the same time na malaman po yung mga bagay-bagay nito pagdating po sa ating property management. Ayan. Ito ang isa pang importante dito na kailangan nyo pong makita yung reconciliation of property and accounting records. Ito yung binabanggay ko kanina. At the end of the year, tinitignan po kung ano yung naka-record kay accounting, ano yung naka-record kay property custodian or kay supply officer. Kailangan nagja-jive po yung dalawang yan para yung value na naka-indicate kay accounting at yung mga equipment na naka-declare, ganun din dapat yung nire-report ng ating property or supply officer para nang sa ganun wala tayong problema kay COA later, no? Repair and maintenance, of course, kasama din po yan under property management. But of course, I'm not going to dig deep dito sa area na ito. Meron pa tayong isang part na very crucial and that would be yung ating inventory taking. Alam na natin ito, yearly naman tayo nagkakandak ng inventory taking na kung saan ipiniprepare yung merong forms na ina-accomplish in order to ascertain the presence or the status of the equipment or yung mga equipment na meron or binili, no, for that matter. Okay? Next. Preparation of the inventory reports, hindi ko na ano po yan. I will go now ito yung pinaka-importante po. Ay yung ating proseso ng disposal. Ano po itong disposal? Disposal is the end of the life cycle of a government property. Okay? This section will discuss the reason and the modes of disposing them and the types of assets that are subject to disposal and how they are inspected and appraised. It should include the formula for the process of their appraisal and documents required in their disposal. Tingnan po natin yung ating mga procedure. So una, ito yung mga general guidelines po natin. Magkakaroon po muna ng inspection is conducted to observe the physical condition of the property to be uh, disposed. An ocular inspection is usually done to have a first-hand observation of the conditions of the property. Its objective is to supplement theoretical computation of value with first-hand observation of the condition of the property. Okay. In the conduct of the inspection, identify first the property in accordance with the description, check the condition, determine if the property is economically repairable, kung kaya pang i-repair or hindi na, check for the damage or worn out or the missing parts kung meron, and verify stated ratings, capacity model, or year of manufacture for that. Okay? Pagkatapos po ng inspection at nalaman na talagang meron ng kailangan na i-dispose, susunod po dyan ay yung appraisal. This is usually done to attain more realistic valuation of the property. Siyempre, kapag hindi na serviceable yung property, ibebenta na yan, already dispose na yan, magkakaroon muna ng valuation or tinatawag po natin na appraisal. Under disposal, based on the actual state or condition of the properties being disposed. The objective in computing the appraised value of the property is to set the government's minimum selling price so that the government shall receive fair compensation to the of the items that will be disposed. Disposal committee member, including the owning agency, shall prepare their appraisal report. Usually, kapag mga buildings naman, ang nag-appraise po ng mga value ay ang ating mga COA, meron po sila mga engineer na naka-in-charge po dyan for the valuation or the appraisal. Okay? The appraised value or an estimate or opinion of the value of an adequately described property, yan po yung tinatawag natin na appraised value. Estimate value lang naman ito. Hindi naman na tayo gumagawa ng appraisal yan. Kasi usually pag appraisal, that will be upon the higher authority na po. Ayan. So may mga, ano yan, may sinusunod din po na mga guidelines. Good, very good, fair, poor condition, or scrap condition. So kapag scrap condition na, that's the time na talagang ibibenta na yan ng kung ilan po yung applicable na value or the appraised value. May mga formulas po dito but this document is downloadable naman sa ano. But I will try to put this document in the drive para makita nyo po. Ilalagay ko po dun sa Google Drive so that you can also access the material. Okay? Ayan. So, ito yung general procedures kapag dispose. Siyempre, na ano na natin, meron ng appraised value. So, ano yung general procedures for disposal? Tandaan natin ito mga kapitek, anong unang-unang gagawin. In the 2015 exam, lumabas po ito. No? The accountable person shall return the unserviceable property to the property or supply officer or the designated property custodian. Hindi po si school head ang mag-identify na, yan, wala nang ano yan, i-dispose na natin. Hindi po. Okay. Kung kanino na-issue yung equipment na yon at hindi na siya na nakita during the inventory na unserviceable na yung property, then ibabalik ni accountable person kay supply officer kung whatever you call it, no? Property, supply, designated property custodian. Anong susunod? Si property custodian ngayon shall file an application for disposal together with the appropriate documents to the auditor. Okay? Si auditor ngayon will inspect the items and determine their value based on their recommendation papunta sa head of office. Kung school yan, papunta kay school head. Kung division yan, papunta kay superintendent yan. The property or the supply officer shall forward the documents now to the disposal committee. And then the disposal committee shall recommend to the head of office and to the bids and awards committee on disposal, the mode of disposal that will be most appropriate and most advantageous to the government. The unserviceable property may be sold at public auction to the highest bidder under the supervision of the bank on disposal. The awardee shall pay, claim, and withdraw the property upon the termination of the winning bidder. The bid bond shall be considered as partial payment, and the difference between such payment and the offered bid price shall be paid in the form of cash or manager's check of a reputable bank. Full payment should be made within 5 working days from the date of the notice of award. Okay? In addition to the purchase price, ayan, may mga iba pang mga, how do you call that? Charges, no? Ano, may mga nakalagay pa po dito. But of course, that will be upon kung ito ay aalaw pa ba yan ng ating mga personnel involved dito. Alright? So, paano yung mga modes of disposal? Kapag modes of disposal, number one, condemnation or destruction of the property. Dinidestroy po yung property through pounding, breaking, shredding, throwing, or any other method by which the property is disposed beyond economic recovery. Alright? Kapag ka naman hindi yung gagamitin yung number one, pwede kang mag-transfer ng property. Kung halimbawa sa school yan, pwede mong i-transfer sa other agency or bilang school kung halimbawa kailangan. Nag-dispose ka ng mga upuan pero pwede pa palang i-repair dahil nangangailangan yung ibang school, pwedeng i-transfer yung property. Pwede rin itong i-donate. Pwede rin pong ibenta under number 4 or the sale of the unserviceable property. Kapag binenta po yan, the sale of the unserviceable property can be done to public bidding subject to existing government rules and regulations on the disposal. Okay? The public bidding can be done through sealed public bidding when circumstances warrant, by viva voce, or through negotiated sale as a result or a consequence of failed bidding. Okay? Ayan. So far ay pagkatapos na ma-dispose yung mga properties ngayon, kagaya ng nabanggit po natin sa latest na video bago ito yung video natin na number 18, ay nabanggit ko na po doon kung paano gagawin yung relief of accountability. So, ino-notify the accountable officer shall notify immediately the property and auditor about the loss of the property. Halimbawa, may nawala, submit within 30 days an application for the relief, including the following documents. Affidavit executed by the accountable officer stating the following: property loss and so on. So, yun mo ay hinahanap po natin dyan. Alright? Bonding na po yung susunod, mga kapitek, but I will not go deeper into that. Alam naman natin na kapag ikaw ay government official, naghahawak ka ng pondo ng gobyerno, required ka na mag-file ng fidelity bond. Yun lang naman ang ano dyan. So, meron tayong form. Ano nga ba yung form na yun, mga kapitek? Ayan, General Form number 57A and request for the application of fidelity bond to the Bureau of Treasury. Duly signed by the head office. Alright? So, ulitin natin, kapag ikaw ay government official at ikaw po ay nangangalaga ng pondo ng gobyerno, required po tayo nag-file ng ating fidelity bond. Ang ating fidelity bond ay nakadepende sa kung gaano kalaki ang ating pera na ipinangangalaga sa atin bilang mga school head. Okay? At ito naman po ay charge lahat ng mga fees and all processes na nangangailangan ng bayad ay pwede naman nating i-charge sa ating MOOE or any local funds available. Alright? So, hanggang dito na lamang po ha mga kapitek ang ating diskusyon ngayong session number 18 na. Kaya maraming salamat muli sa panonood. Umabot ka hanggang 53 minutes ng ating video. And with that, I would like to say thank you for trusting PTech, and please continue to support our channel by watching, sharing, making comments, and subscribing, of course, sa atin pong channel. Okay, so maraming salamat mga kapitek, and see you po ulit sa susunod po na ating video. Maraming salamat and God bless sa ating lahat.